So guys, as part of the today's lecture, I want to cover only two small concepts, abstraction and interface. These are the two different concepts which I want to explain as part of our today's session. So, what exactly an abstraction in Java? So here, abstraction is a process of hiding the implementation details and showing only functionality to the user. We can call it as an abstraction in Java. So here we are hiding a complete set of implementation details. We are not showing a functionality to the user as part of this abstraction. Okay, this lets user to focus on the functionality what is implemented rather how they have implemented. A simple example for this one is, guys, so we all are using a WhatsApp messenger. Right. Within this WhatsApp messenger, what are we doing? I'm sending a message. No matter in which location you are, I'm just checking whether that a message is delivering to the recipient within a fraction of seconds or not. I'm verifying that. I don't know, and even I don't want to know at all what exactly the logics they are using in a backend in order to deliver that message to the recipient within a fraction of seconds. But the only thing I know is if I'm using a WhatsApp messenger and whenever I click on a send message, my requirement is whether my message is delivering to the customer or not. We can treat it as an abstraction. Okay, so the example for this one is the one which I have explained as an Amazon, or if you consider the Gmail login screen also, you are entering the username and a password in a Gmail login screen, and you are directly clicking on that particular button. Right, a login button. You don't know what exactly it's happening in a backend after clicking on a login button, but the only thing you know is after waiting a 2 to 3 seconds, whether that inbox page is displaying or not only will be verified by the user. Okay, so the ultimate point out over here with respect to this abstraction is it will let you to focus on how or what exactly the functionality is will give a least importance to that one, which is how they have implemented that particular process. In Java, this abstraction can be achieved in a two different ways. One is an abstract class, and the second one is an interface concept. So the yesterday's concept which we studied about an abstract class will fall under an abstraction concept itself. Yes, using this abstract class, we can achieve some abstraction. It's not, 100% abstraction we can't achieve using this abstract class. Only using interface concept in Java, we will be, we will be achieving 100% abstraction. Okay, that's fine. So we have already studied how exactly the abstract class looks like. Right, we have already studied the concept, how exactly this abstract class looks like. Then we need to discuss about an interface concept in Java. So what exactly this interface is? So the first and a foremost thing which we need to know is interface almost looks like a class, but it is not a class. An interface can have a methods and a variables just like a class, but the methods whatever we are defining in the interface by default they are only the abstract methods. Okay, only they are an abstract methods. So it means in abstract class there is a possibility, or I can say in an abstract class it's a combination of abstract methods and non-abstract methods. Right, it is a combination of abstract methods and as well as a non-abstract methods. Whereas interface, which is only abstract methods, we will define here. Whatever the methods you are defining in the interface, you will be defining those as an abstract methods itself. Then immediately, as the interface contains only abstract methods, hence you need to create a class that should implement all the interface methods. Okay, all the interface methods. Okay, that's fine. So how we are going to use this particular interface methods and all those things? Let us see more about this interface first. An interface is a blueprint, is a class. It has a static constants and as well as an abstract methods. In order to achieve abstraction and multiple inheritance in Java, we are using this abstraction concept. Yesterday, when we are discussing about the various types of inheritance, we mentioned that in Java, multiple inheritance is not supported, but using this interface, we can achieve this multiple inheritance. We will see that one as an example as well. Okay, interface contains only the abstract methods. It means methods without having any logics. Okay, good enough. Done the deal. The ultimate point out over here is as an interface contains only the abstract methods, definitely you can't create any object to the interface. First of all, you need to create a class that should implement all the interface methods. Okay, that should implement all the interface methods. You need to create a class that should implement all the interface methods. There are certain rules that you need to follow while using an interface, which we will see moving further. But for now, what I'm doing means I'm creating a simple Java class here, a new Java class example 29, and in this example 29, so here we need to create an interface, not a class, right? So right click on my package, go to new, and here there is an interface. Okay, just below the class there is an interface. Click on that and I'm naming it as my interface. Okay, I'm naming it as a my interface and I'm defining my access modifier as a public and I'm clicking on a finish. As soon as you marked as a public, see here, you can find this interface here. Okay, public interface, my interface. If you clearly observe, this almost looks like a class. Public class space a class name. That's it. This is a simple point how you need to create it. Okay, and then let me create a method, public void login, public void logout. I created a method here. Login and as well as a logout is the method that I have created here. And as I have mentioned, interface contains a set of abstract methods itself. Only the abstract methods will be there. Definitely, we need to create a child class that should implement all the interface methods. So, let me create a new class, new class. Example 29 is the class. Now, the relation between these two is it should implement all the interface methods. So here you need to use an implements keyword. Okay, you need to use an implements keyword, implements my interface, and it is suggesting that add unimplemented methods. So let me add my own methods. So public void login. This is the method that I have defined. System.out.println login in 29 example. The same way we have a logout method also in the interface. Hence I am changing it to logout, and here logout in 29. So as soon as I add these methods, automatically the error message which it is populating area is no more displaying here. So it means if the interface contains multiple abstract methods, it's mandatory for you to implement those methods here, or as this is a class, you can mark it as an abstract class here. It means even this class contains an unimplemented methods. That I'll show you as part of a separate example here. But here this is one case basically. So the scenario one here is, okay, the scenario one, what I have done is I created an interface, and all the interface methods I have implemented in the class. As it is a class, I can create my own methods also. Right. So here, let me add a comment here. Interface methods start here, and here interface methods ends here. I have specified that. And then here we are going to create a class method public void, excuse me, public void creates system.out.println create a user, public void log edits system.out.println edit user. So here guys, these are the two different methods that I have added as of my class. Okay, so as this is a class which is implementing the interface, the only rule which was set by the interface is first of all implement my methods. It's up to you whether you want to add it or you don't want to add it. The below methods is of optional. I may add it or I may not add it. It's up to the class basically, whatever we are dealing with. But you can add it or you can delete those methods also. But only thumb rule is if a class is implementing the interface, definitely you have to implement those methods. As it is a class, I have created my customized methods also. And now example 29 is the class what we have created. It has interface methods and a class methods also. Okay, cool. And now let me create an object to this example 29, example 30 with a main method. And here what I'm doing means example 29 space obj is equal to new example 29. I created an object obj dot see. I can access this create a method which is from an example 29, edit a method from an example 29, login method from an example 29, and a logout method from an example 29. So it's up to your wish how you want to call those methods. Just call those methods. That's it. I just call those methods. Ultimately, upon creating an object to the class, as this class having interface methods and as well as a customized methods, we can access both the things with this object. Cool. And the another scenario too is create an interface, and in the class implement only interface methods. Don't write any logics for that in that class. It's up to you. You can do that. right? So here I'm creating a new class, example 31, and this 31 is implementing my interface itself. And here public void login is the methods, system.out.println login in 31, and even logout in 31. That's it. I just added it. But in this class, example 31, I have implemented only the interface methods. It doesn't mean that you have to implement all those things. It's up to you, whatever the methods you want to implement it. I just implemented these methods itself. If you want to create an object to the 31, let me comment all these things here. Okay. And example 31 space obj is equal to new example 31. Example 31 is the class which has only the interface methods. Hence, you can access those methods itself. Login and as well as a logout. Gets. This is the second scenario, even we are good with that. And the third scenario is create an interface, create a class, implement only one method in the class, and see what is happening in the editor. Okay, so what it is saying means you have an interface, and for that interface just create a class to implement those methods, but don't implement all those methods, just implement only one method there. So here what I'm doing means new class example 32. Okay, and whenever you have a selected this example 32, implements my interface, implements my interface. I have a defined that. Okay, and now see here guys, if you observe the difference, earlier whenever I mouse over on that, I'm getting an auto suggestions to add those methods, but now I'm not getting that. The reason is I unchecked that checkbox. Let me delete this class once, and let me show you that difference. Creating a new class again, example 32, and I'm checking inherited the abstract methods. Okay, and here implements my interface. So whenever you have implemented that, if you mouse over on that, okay, this is a syntactical issue. Basically we should get all the auto suggestions guys. Okay, whatever the methods are there, it should populate us with all those suggestions. See here, add unimplemented methods and make this class as an abstract class. Now what I'm doing now, public void login. I'm just implementing the login method itself. Login in 32 class. I have defined it only here. But as it is implementing an interface here, okay, as this class is implementing an interface, then either it should implement all the interface methods, or if it implemented only few, then we need to mark that class as an abstract class. Right? If a class is an abstract class means there are some unimplemented methods. This class contains an unimplemented method which is a logout. So here I'm defining abstract class. Okay, abstract. Automatically your Java compiler will recognize that. That's fine. But the ultimate point is again here for this example 32, as this is an abstract class, hence we can't create any objects to this class directly. We need to create a child class in which we need to implement all those methods. Okay, we need to implement all those pending methods. Fine, let me create a new class, example 33, and this 33 is extending example 32. As this is extending that, whatever the pending method is there, implement it. Whatever the pending method is there in 33. That's it. I have implemented that. And now this is an abstract method, and now I can create my own methods here. My own methods in this class also. Okay. See here, public void creates, and I'm just using a create. That's it. So whenever I create an object to my child class at last, where is my class which has an object? Okay. So whenever I create an object to my child class, new example 33, and obj dot, I can access my create, login, logout, all the methods I can access. See here, I can access this login from a 32, as the login implementation you have implemented in a parent class. Obj.logout I have implemented in the child class. Like that, you can access this information. Good. It's perfect. So we were doing that. Good enough. For suppose my requirement is, okay, for suppose my requirement is we were able to access both interface methods and class methods, right? But is there any specific syntax using which I can access only interface methods? See here, basically, of course, my class may have a methods, but I don't want to use that. I just want to use only the methods, whatever are there in that particular interface. Okay, whatever are there in that particular interface. In such situations, the object creation syntax is interface name space obj name is equal to new class which implemented that interface. Okay, for suppose my interface is the class. An example, my interface is an interface which has two methods. And example 29 is the class which has the interface methods and as well as a class methods. But your requirement is to access only the interface methods. So create a new Java class. Example 34 with a main method here, and in which interface and name. Okay, so my interface space obj is equal to new example 29 is the class which implemented that. And now obj dot, see here, if you observe, only the login and a logout methods are there, and that too these methods are from an interface. These are not from a class. That class contains a create and an edit, but we are unable to see those methods. The reason is I'm trying to access only the interface methods. See here, a is the keyword that is populating on a green icon, which is an abstract method. So I just accessed that. So to access only the interface methods, you have to use this my interface space obj is equal to interface namespace obj is equal to new class which implemented that particular interface. Good enough. Done the deal. Okay, cool. Done the deal. Okay, cool. And then the next point that we need to consider on top of this one is okay, we studied about an abstract class and we studied about an interface. What is the difference between abstract class and interface? uh, we will study in the next session. So let me update this point to my document and even a concrete class. All these things we will study in the next session, guys. Okay, so let us jump on and let us study this concept in